Welcome to Timber West Design, where creative ideas are built to bring beauty and purpose to your space. The first speakers I ever built weren't made out of concrete. They were MDF. I built them for my TV surround sound system using Focal drivers. They're still in my living room today, and honestly, they sound pretty dang good. That project taught me a lot about speakers, how to cut panels, how to brace a box, build something that actually worked. Back then, I didn't even know what a crossover was or how it worked. I had some contacts over at Focal. They designed and made my first crossovers. I followed their advice for the cabinet dimensions and sound dampening materials, and I ended up with something I was very proud of and I love to show off to my friends. The first time I fired them up, I was blown away. I remember sitting there thinking, I actually built these. The feeling of creating something that makes sound is quite addictive. That's probably where this whole journey really started for me. Once you've heard something that you've built, you just can't go back to off-the-shelf speakers. I'm a wood guy. I've been making wood projects around my house since I was a teenager. I love wood, I'm confident in my woodworking abilities, but I also know the limits of wood and MDF. So I started wondering, what if I could still build something with a little more freedom, something that didn't have to be in a box? My first experience with concrete wasn't even a speaker. I made some candles. I made this hex candle, kind of fun. Made this yin yang candle, kind of cool. I really like this one. And when I took these projects out of their molds, they were perfect, smooth, solid, and unique. That moment really hooked me. I started seeing concrete not as construction material, but as a creative material. There's something really satisfying about working with your hands and pulling a finished part from a mold. It's like unwrapping a gift. You're not totally sure what you're going to get, but when it turns out right, it's magic. That one little success gave me some confidence to keep experimenting. Concrete is strong, versatile, and timeless. I could make it rough, I could make it smooth and modern. It fits perfectly with my outdoor design love. Timber, stone, natural textures. When I pick up one of my concrete creations, it feels heavy and it feels like quality, and not from a factory production line. These first few candle projects, they led to planters, fire features, all kinds of small projects. Each one of them pushed me a little further towards realizing that concrete could be more than just functional. It could be very expressive. Concrete gives me the kind of freedom I never really had with wood. I can shape it into flowing forms, carve texture right into the mold, finish it any way I really want, from raw stone to smooth satin. Every piece feels really intentional, like it's designed instead of assembled. When you work with concrete, you're not just pouring it, you're collaborating with it. It wants to move and flow and find its own shape. That's what keeps me coming back. It's not just strong, it's expressive. And that expressiveness, it kept pushing me to design bigger and more complicated shapes. But to pull that off, I needed something new, something that could turn my imagination into a mold. Quality sleep is the foundation of our health. It influences how we think, feel, and perform. When we sleep well, we enjoy more energy and focus, stronger immune system, improved mood and mental clarity, greater resilience to stress. Imagine sleeping like a baby every night. Think what your life would be like if you could sleep deeper, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling fully refreshed and rejuvenated every day. With Newcomb's proven sleep protocol, you can enjoy the best sleep of your life with ease. Of course, concrete needs molds. That's where 3D printing completely changed everything. I can design any shape I want in CAD, from spirals to egg shapes, and print molds that bring those ideas to life. Before 3D printing, complex shapes meant complex tooling. Now that the printer does the heavy work, it turns the digital sketch into a physical mold, and with precision that hand tools could never match. The day I realized I could print my own molds was the day my creativity doubled. I wasn't limited anymore to what I could cut or carve. I was only limited by my imagination and my CAD software. That's what makes this process so exciting. It's where art meets technology. And it wasn't always smooth sailing. I've cracked molds, trapped air bubbles, and had pours that just failed completely. Some pieces came out perfect, others, well, they taught me some patience. The funny thing is, every failure makes the next one better. I'd tweak the mix, change how I designed the mold, redesign the pour holes. Each little improvement adds up over time. Concrete teaches you patience. You can't rush it. Once it sets, it's honest and it doesn't hide its flaws. It highlights them, and that's actually part of the beauty. At first, I was just making shapes, candles, planters, fire features, mostly just things that looked like sculptures. I was experimenting with some curves and textures and forms just to see what concrete could do. Then one day, I looked at one of those pieces and I thought, what if it could play music? That idea changed everything. I started designing speaker enclosures, planning internal volumes, figuring out how to merge art and acoustics. The sculptures slowly turned into speakers, but they never lost their sculptural identity. That transition didn't happen overnight. I went through many digital designs before I kind of found the right balance of art and what I thought were good acoustics. And then the ones that I thought were good enough to make molds and cast it. The challenge became creating both. Sound, that matched the sculpture. Now when I finish up a piece and finally wire it up, it's really surreal. Something that started out as silent art suddenly fills the room with sound. It's like the sculpture found its voice, and in a way, so did I. I make concrete speakers now because they combine pretty much most of the things I love: design, craftsmanship, creativity, and technology. It's kind of like a balance of old world materials and modern tools, and I'm just getting started. For me, making concrete speakers isn't just about the final product. It's about experimenting, learning, and pushing what's possible with materials people often overlook. Every design teaches me something new, and every pour feels like it's the first one all over again. I have some really cool new speaker designs in the works, projects that push even further into art and sound. So make sure you subscribe, you don't want to miss them. But for now, I'm just enjoying the journey. Thanks for watching, and if you've got a wild idea for a speaker shape, drop it in the comments. I might make it next. If you want to download digital files and print your own, go to my website at timberwestdesign.com. And always remember, creativity is just a 3D print away.